Hello and welcome to Up Your Wine Game. Today I'm going to be talking about Sangiovese. What is Sangiovese? Okay, so Sangiovese, red grape, generally grown in Tuscany, right? It's the most famous, most useful, the most important grape in Tuscany. You probably know it in Chianti, Chianti Classico, Super Tuscans. Most of those wines are based on Sangiovese. Sangiovese at this point is grown all over the world, but in my very humble opinion, nobody can touch the stuff that comes out of Chianti Classico, Montepulciano, Montalcino. Brunello di Montalcino is made from 100% Sangiovese, right? So Sangiovese is the grape. Chianti Classico, probably the most famous wine made from Sangiovese, but Sangiovese is the grape. This Grifone is a $5 bottle of Sangiovese from Tuscany in Italy. This is at Trader Joe's for $5, right? So Sangiovese to me is like some of my favorite wine in the world is Chianti Classico, plain and simple. But Chianti Classico you can get it for $10 and it goes up to $100 for Chianti Classico in some particular producers and single vineyards and the whole bit. But it's all based on Sangiovese. Sangiovese is a workhorse. It is generally red fruit inspired. These are generalizations. So for all these people out here like, no, my Chianti Classico is red, pump the brakes. All right. It is usually a red grape driven wine with markedly high acid and a lot of earthy and leathery tones to it. All right. That's nutshell Sangiovese from Tuscany. So in smelling this, rather muted nose, a little bit of cherry, a little bit of raspberry on the nose, but not unpleasant by any stretch. This is a 2021 Sangiovese, and this is going to come from, this is not coming from, this is probably somewhere, it's an IGT from Puglia. So there's the curveball. Sangiovese now is grown all over Italy, but this is coming from the heel of the boot, right? So what am I suspecting? Because it's coming from warmer climate in the southern part of Italy, probably a little bit lower acid, a little bit more gearing more towards blue fruit and black fruit as opposed to red, just given the climate, right? So, and who knows what sort of clone they're using in the whole bit, but it's $5, people. So pleasant nose, and it's got that floral, like almost dried flowers on there, which is also very typical violets. A lot of times in Chianti Classico, especially in Gaiole, you will get those kind of aromas, but I'm actually pleased with the nose on this, but it's muted. It's not really jumping out. There's nothing, if I put my nose down in here, I'm not necessarily going to be guessing if I were tasting this blind that this is Sangiovese, but all good. It's still very pleasant. I'm liking it. This is very true to Sangiovese. This is a big red component, big red fruit component. So here, unripe strawberry. There's some cranberry hitting me in the back here. So really bright acid on this thing, which I'm pleasantly surprised. A lot of wines coming out of Puglia, unfortunately, because it is so hot, depending on where it's grown, will give you, it'll be a little bit flabby. It leans towards the flabby. Here they've either picked early enough, or this is a cooler part of Puglia in the northern part, where they've selected some vineyards and done the right thing. And this is actually a very balanced, and it speaks true to Sangiovese. I could see having this with, simple grilled poultry, little pasta with red sauce, with some mushrooms. It's a simple wine. Nothing wrong with that. But for $5, I tell you what, it rings true. This, I would rather, there's a lot of just basic Chianti, the stuff that used to come in like the straw basket and that sort of thing. There's a lot of Chianti out there for under $10 or right at $10. Not Chianti Classico, but just straight Chianti. I would, even though this is not from Chianti, I would take this over a lot of Chianti out there at twice the price. Just because there's balance here, there's enough fruit. It's not just an acid bomb, even though the acid on this wine is very bright. Super tasty. I tell you what, if this, every little checker tablecloth Italian restaurant, quite honestly, if they had a Sangiovese, a house wine, this reminds me of your typical house wine, in Italy, not here where it's like sweet and sugared up crap. This reminds me of like your typical little Tuscan table wine at any little like osteria or trattoria. So not a bad little wine at all for $5. I'm impressed. Like, go with this for sure. Definitely highly recommend it. Grifone 2021 Sangiovese from Trader Joe's, $5. Get on it. Take care. Drink well.